This is a message of warning to all of us. Tony Blair is back. He's back to rule Britain, but this time without the need to get elected. And we should all be very scared indeed because of the ideas he's been spreading over the last few years. So, what's going on in this video, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about Blair and Starmer. They are best buddies right now, and he's been already advising Keir Starmer on a range of issues. They regularly probably chat anyway, but recently they got much closer, more publicly. Of course, Tony Blair has his annual conference thing with the future of Britain and his new projects to come up with more globalist ideas, and Keir Starmer has been listening. But now we are hearing that he could actually be joining Keir Starmer's government, then the future potential Labour government, as a global consultant. Sort of like a global ambassador, but with more advisory role and everything else. And so he's going to be able to, again, spread his message across the planet because he's going to be the global consultant. I hope that means he's going to focus less on domestic policies. But it's still, the whole thing is extremely dangerous. And there's a piece in the Telegraph by Fraser Nelson that talked about what Blair's been up to, obviously, since he left office in 2007. And it's quite concerning. We've talked about Blair a lot, obviously, over the last few years. But it's a bit of a reminder. Who are we dealing with? After he left office, Downing Street, he set up the Tony Blair Associate, which was dissolved 7 years ago after serving various emirs. Actually, he was basically essentially serving dictators, oligarchs, and all the really dodgy people around the world. It left him with £8.9 million, which he said that he put into his non-for-profit activities, but didn't say more. Now we have a clear idea. The Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, which has 750 staff meddling in 40 countries. It's offering, it's fairly simple. Blairism for the planet. Yeah, because it went so well for the country. Yeah, for one country, we could just go around and interfere in all the other countries, whether they're dictatorships or democracies. This is what Blairism has always been about. But the first project was to test the waters in the United Kingdom when he was Prime Minister. And then the ideas that he has is the same as ideas as Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and all the others who are just obsessed with their Star Trek fantasy world. One world government, and everyone will be at peace. One race, one human race. Everybody will be gender neutral, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen. But in this piece, we also hear that the Tony Blair Institute's last accounts show revenue doubling to £60 million in 2021, and the headcount growth suggests that it has doubled yet again, which leads us to the more sensitive question. Who is providing all this money? It's suspiciously unclear. Blair does publish an edited list of his benefactors, mainly foundations, so Bill and Melinda Gates, the African Development Bank, the Digital Impact Alliance, and all the others. But why do these well-heeled outfits need him? Why don't they use their own people? A number of organizations do help governments, one of his colleagues explained, but they tend to shy away from their politics. Blair knows no such boundaries. His people get stuck right in. That's their forte, yeah. Which makes it all the more important that the citizens of the countries know where Blair's funding is coming from. Nobody knows. No one knows. This is the issue. Just because he's more robust and brave enough to not really hide his face when he goes to all these countries to meddle, essentially. All the others, they're not brave enough. So Bill Gates, for example, I mean, he's getting into trouble with so many other countries, especially in India, but he can't really just go around publicly and say, I've got an idea. And Mr. Dictator, can you listen to me? No, he does it through backdoor and discussions and conversations that they have. But now he's getting close to Starmer and his potential future Labour government. So there was this thing that they did, a vision for the future, at this conference for the future of Britain. And Blair was talking to Starmer, and the whole idea was to essentially push for certain things, including Blair's obsession, which is Global Health Security Consortium, making preventable disease history, right? On the surface, they say, we can't achieve our vision for world health alone. That's why we've partnered with the Ellison Institute for Transformative Medicine and a team of scientists at the University of Oxford to create the Global Health Security Consortium, the initiative providing insight, analysis and support to world leaders on the health challenges of tomorrow. But then when you look at the details, they have some crazy ideas by centralizing everything and, coming up with some very abstract things, right? They're very abstract. No one's talked about them before. Microchips, for example, or completely creating a surveillance state where all your data, it's in your interest. Public health. It's in public health interest. They'll be able to see who you are, where you are, what you're doing, and how well you are. Yeah. Imagine if they had this power in the 1930s Germany. Yeah. Anyway, it's not the same comparison, by the way. But Tony Blair has also come out recently to say that Britain will definitely rejoin the European Union in the future. So this is the thing. So he has said that Brexit has been a constant sadness to him, right? And I feel very, very sad about this. But this is the most dangerous part of the return of Blair. One thing is about all these crazy ideas he's got about global health, right? But this is very dangerous when it comes to democracy, because this can't be challenged. These people are going to have a long-term plan to take us back in the European Union because they are saying it. We're not coming up with random theories. They've been saying that ideally we want to go back. And they're creating their propaganda machines, the Guardian, and they're using all the lefties like Channel 4 News to every now and then publish an opinion poll saying, well, young people who didn't vote in the last referendum now regret Brexit. How can they regret Brexit if they didn't vote for Brexit? So it makes no sense. So they are already preparing the route to cancelling Brexit, and I know that a lot of you would say, well, Brexit hasn't fully been implemented yet, we know, but even for them, for the Remoaners, rejoiners, it is still Brexit. They're going to officially take us back into the EU as an official member, and that is a big problem. So Blair has said, they're talking to some sort of magazine, I believe, about his plans, and he said, I believe at some point a future generation will take Britain back into Europe, and you just have to look at what's happened. I mean, firstly, these people are dangerous lunatics because they've been using the word Europe instead of the European Union since 2016. They know they're lying, but they are, again, brainwashing young kids, saying, we've left Europe. What, you picked up the island and moved it into, where Titanic sank, I guess. I'm guessing. Where did we go? Geographically, we haven't moved. The European Union is not Europe. But they don't care. They continue to lie every single day until they get what they want, which is misery for the rest of us. So I'm going to keep an eye on this story, because the more we get closer to the general election, they're going to do either two things. One, they're going to test the waters like today, this week, see, okay, what's the reaction from everybody and the media about the return of Blair as an idea. And they might be brave enough to bring him out publicly during the campaign, which is actually a very interesting idea. I dare Keir Starmer to do that, to see if the country is going to be positive about seeing Blair's face on the campaign trail. Or they're going to keep him quiet, but they're going to give him the job anyway once Keir Starmer has potentially won the general election. Either way, Blair's coming back, so let's see if they make a U-turn on that, because it's a terrible, terrible idea, even for the Labour Party. I'm trying to save you idiots inside the Labour Party. I don't know why, but for the sake of the country. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.